Okay, sorry about that, folks. I had some slight technical difficulties. Once again, I'll be getting underway here in just a minute. Hey, this is Aqualung 1956 welcoming you to the 1966 season. That's right, the Strat-O-Matic full season replay. We're going to bring you opening day today, April 11th, 1966, Cleveland at Washington. Now, most of you probably know that the Cincinnati Reds have traditionally always held the home opener. However, this year it was rained out, and that's why this will be the first game of the season. We're going to have two left-handers on the mound today. Sam McDowell for Cleveland and Pete Rickert for Washington. Both were strikeout pitchers. Rickert 195 in 246 innings, and McDowell K'd a phenomenal 225 in 194 innings. Two left-handers. While Pete Rickert begins his warm-ups, I'll give you the Cleveland starting lineup here. Vic Davalillo will be in center field batting leadoff. Max Alvis plays third base and bats second. Leon Wagner will be in left field, batting third. Rocky Colavito in right field is the cleanup man. Chuck Hinton will play first base and bat fifth. Pedro Gonzalez, the second baseman, hits sixth. Larry Brown will be at shortstop, batting seventh. Del Crandall catching and batting eighth. And McDowell, a 3W left-handed hitter, batting ninth. I'll be using the advanced version, the advanced fielding chart, with the catcher's overthrow. I will not be using the pass ball. The only super advanced strategy we will be employing for this replay will be the supplementary stealing system, which I feel is more realistic. We will not be using ballpark, weather, or clutch. So with that, we're about ready to go here. Pete Rickert has concluded his warm-ups, gets the sign from Camille, and here's the first pitch of the 1966 season to Vic Davalillo. It's going to be a 5-6 to the left-hander. Grounder down to first. That's Cunningham. He'll take it himself, and there's one away. I'm going to take this slow because a lot of these rules and charts I'm not as familiar with. Just to refresh your memory, I've been playing the Windows and online versions of Strat-O-Matic for over 20 years now. Really enjoying getting back into the card and dice world. Max Alvis steps in now. Rickert's ready to go. Winds and delivers. That's a 4-11 to the right-hander. Deep fly to left field. Back goes Frank Howard. That's way up into the seats. Let's look at that again. 4-11 righty. That's an N home run. So Max Alvis. Alvis puts Cleveland on the board with the first home run of the season. And it's 1-0 Cleveland. Leon Wagner will step in now. He was taken by the Senators in the Indians. No, that isn't true. Never mind that. So Rickert's ready now. Base is empty. One run in, and the pitch to Wagner. That's a 110 against the lefty. Homer to 16, that's deep to right field. But it's a 19, and Valentine's there to haul it in on the track. Wagner almost got all of that one, and that would have been back-to-back home runs, but the wind kept it in the park. And with two down, that'll bring up Colavito. Colavito, the power-hitting right fielder, 30 home runs that season. And keep in mind, 30 home runs in 1966 wasn't like 30 home runs now. That was a lot of home runs. Okay, record set now. The pitch to Colavito. It's a 4-6 to the right-handed batter, and he walks him. So a base on balls to Colavito. Colavito, a slow base runner. And then I'll bring up Chuck Hinton. Enjoy looking at some of these cards. Hinton hit 256 that year with 12 home runs. Rickard from the stretch now, and here's the pitch to Hinton. That's a 2-5 against the lefty. That's a base hit to center. That's opened. Colavito can try to advance on that with 2 down. 1 through 9, 1 through 11. -2, 1 through 9. So no, he will not be advancing. Colavito holds up at second on the base hit by Hinton. And the Indians have 2 on and 2 away. That'll bring up Pedro Gonzalez, the second baseman. Rickard, shaky here in the first inning, in a bit of a jam now, trying to get out of it with minimal damage. And from the stretch, the pitch to Gonzalez. 3-5 to the lefter. That's a grounder to short. Brinkman's got it. Throws across in time to retire the side. The Indians get 1 run on 2 hits, leave 2. The home run by Max Alvis, of course, the big blow. And we go to the bottom of the first. Cleveland 1, Washington coming to bat. Sudden Sam McDowell, one of the great strikeout pitchers of his generation. As he warms up, I'll give you the Senators lineup. Fred Valentine will be in right field in the leadoff spot. Ed Brinkman at short, bat second. Ken McMullen will play third base and bat third. Frank Howard in left field in the cleanup spot. Don Locke will be in center field, batting fifth. Ken Hamlin, the second baseman, bat sixth. Doug Camilli will do the catching today and bat seventh. And Joe Cunningham here, represented by the nameless card, plays first base and bats eighth, with McDowell in the ninth spot, or Rickard in the nine spot. We're getting off to a shaky start here in this replay. So we're set to go in the bottom of the second. Fred Valentine, a switch hitter, steps in, batting right-handed against McDowell. McDowell winds and deals. It's a 2-6 against the lefty. That's deep to left field. Wagner turns around and looks at it go, and that's a blast for Fred Valentine to lead off the game for the Senators. And the fans appreciate it. So we're all tied up in the first, and Ed Brinkman, the slick fielding shortstop, steps up to the plate. McDowell for the windup, and the pitch to Brinkman. 1-11. He fouls out to third base. Alvis has it, and there's one away. Ken McMullen will be the batter. McMullen, we know from my 74 Dodger replay, was on the Dodgers in 1974, and here he is. Let's take a look at him, a full-time player. 233, 13 home runs. So McDowell's ready now, winds and deals on the pitch to McMullen. That's a 2-7 against the lefty. Triple to 2, and look at that, it's a 1. McMullen gaps it into center. Davalillo chasing it down. McMullen around second. He's coming into third. Here's Davalillo's throw, and McMullen is in there with a triple. So Washington making some noise in the bottom of the inning here. All tied up at 1. 1 down, and Big Frank Howard will be the hitter. McDowell's ready from the stretch, and the pitch to Howard. That's a 1-9 against the lefty. Ground back to the pitcher. McDowell snares it, looks the runner back, and throws him out. So 2 away, McDowell trying to get out of this, still a runner on third. And Don Locke, the center fielder, steps in. Locke, a right-handed hitter. McDowell delivers. That's a 6-7 to the righty. Ball 4, he loses him. So Locke jogs down to first, and there's runners on the corners now with 2 away. And the batter will be Ken Hamlin, the second baseman. McDowell checks his runners. From the stretch, the pitch to Hamlin. That's a 2-5 against the lefty. A single to 12 at the rolls of 15. He hits a line drive speared by Brown. And that'll retire the side. But Washington strikes back with a run on 2 hits. They leave 2. And we're knotted up at 1 apiece after an inning of play. Brand new 1966 cards, by the way, folks. Being used for the very first time here. I'm very excited about this 66 replay. This was the year of my first Major League game. Larry Brown, the shortstop, will lead it off in the second for Cleveland. Pete Rickard into the windup now, and here's the pitch. That's a 4-7 to the righty. Fly ball to right. That's going to be Valentine. He puts it away. There's 1 down. And that'll bring up Del Crandall, the catcher, right-handed batter. Rickard lines and deals. That's a 1-7 to the lefty. Grounder to short. That'll be Brinkman. He scoops it up and throws him out. And with 2 down, McDowell will be the hitter. McDowell, left-handed batter. Lefty on lefty here. And Rickard's pitch. 6-8, swung on and missed strike 3. First strikeout of the game for McDowell. An easy 1-2-3 inning. And we go to the bottom of the second, all tied up at 1. Excuse me. I'm going to need some more coffee here in a minute. First game of the season, we're just going to take it nice and slow here on this lazy Spokane Sunday morning. Cool and sunny outside. Doug Camille, the catcher, will lead off for Washington in the bottom of the second. McDowell into the windup, and here's the pitch. That's a 6-3 to the righty. Grounder to the pitcher, X. McDowell's a 1E15. All dice rolled. That's a 9. That's going to be the error range. He's an E15. That's going to be a 10. And he boots it. McDowell fumbling around, can't get his handle on it. That'll be an error on Cleveland, and Camille's on first safely. So an error on McDowell, and that'll bring up Cunningham. Cunningham, a left-handed batter, represented here by the nameless card. McDowell from the stretch, and here's the pitch to Cunningham. 5-9, grounder to shortstop X. That's Brown, he's a 3E31. That's a 10, that's going to be in the error range. A 9 on a 31. Eight to 10 ground ball. Okay, so it's a grounder to short. X play. Brown has it. Flips to Gonzalez. Back to first to complete the double play. So Cunningham bounces into the double play. Excuse me, and that will bring up Pete Rickard. Rickard, a left-handed hitter. McDowell winds and deals. 5-8 to the lefty. Swung on and missed strike 3, and down goes Rickard. So nothing doing for the Senators in the second. After 2 complete, we're still tied up at 1. We'll move along to the top of the third now. The Indians will have the top of the order up. Davalillo, Alvis, and Wagner. Rickard's set to go now. He gets the sign from Camille, and here's the windup in the pitch. 4-5 against the lefty. Swung on and missed strike 3. That's 2 Ks in a row for Pete Rickard. And that'll bring up Max Alvis. Rickard, the windup and the pitch to Alvis. That's a 3-5 against the lefty, and he draws the walk. Alvis, no threat to steal, 1-14 runner. That'll bring up Leon Wagner, the left-handed hitting left fielder. Rickard from the stretch, and here's the pitch. That's a 4-8 to the lefty. Ball 4, he walks him. So suddenly Rickard can't find the strike zone, and the Senators have runners at first and second and 1 away. And the cleanup hitter, Rocky Colavito, coming to bat. In addition to his prodigious power, Colavito was also known for his cannon arm in right field. Rickard ready now, and from the stretch, the pitch. That's a 2-11 against the lefty. That's a base hit to center. Alvis can try to score on that. He's a 14. That's to Locke, who's a -2, which makes him a 12. So he's going to hold up. Alvis will hold up at third. Wagner to second. On the single by Rocky Colavito, and the bases are loaded with 1 away. And Chuck Hinton will be the hitter. Rickard in a jam now, checks his runners, and from the stretch, the pitch. That's a 2-8 to the lefty. That's a base hit to right field. So that'll score Alvis. Wagner can attempt to score. Valentine a -1. Wagner a 13. Makes him a 12. He'll go ahead and hold up. So an RBI single for Hinton makes it 2-1, and the bases are still loaded. Camille out to have a few words with Rickert. Now he settles in behind the plate, flashes some signs. Pedro Gonzalez, the batter. Infield still back. And here's the pitch. That's a 5-10 to the right-hander. Grounder to short. That's Brinkman. Brinkman normally a solid fielder. He's a 2E29. That's a 19. Brinkman has got it. He's in the hole. He flips to Hamlin on to first, double play. Oh my. That was a hell of an X-chart double play by Ed Brinkman, and that gets Rickert out of trouble here in the third. That will retire the side. The Indians do pick up a run, however, on 2 hits, but they leave the bases loaded. And they take a 2-1 lead to the bottom of the third. As we move along to the bottom of the third, the Senators will have their top of the order coming up, Valentine, Brinkman, and McMullen. McDowell's set to go now. Winds and deals on the pitch to Valentine. That's a 3-6 against the lefty. Swung on and missed strike 3. So down goes Valentine on strikes, and that'll bring up Ed Brinkman. Brinkman known more for his glove than his bat, as demonstrated on that inning-ending double play. And here's the pitch. 2-5, swung on and missed strike 3, and that's 3 strikeouts in a row now for McDowell. And with 2 down, Ken McMullen will be the hitter. McDowell's ready now, and here's the pitch to McMullen. 4-7 to the righty, swung on and missed strike 3, and Sudden Sam has struck out the side. And after 3 complete, it's Indians 2, Senators 1. I'll be right back after I refresh my coffee. And we're back. Pete Rickert's ready to go here as we start off the top of the fourth. Larry Brown stands in, the right-handed hitting shortstop. Rickert, the windup and the pitch. 6-8 to Brown. Single 1 to 4. It's an 11, so that will be a grounder to third. That's McMullen. He throws him out. And with one away, Del Crandall will be the hitter. Crandall has some pop. Rickart's ready now. Winds and deals. That's a 3-6. Grounder back to the mound. Rickert knocks it down, picks it up, fires over to Cunningham, and there's 2 away. And McDowell will be the batter. Lefty on lefty here. Rickart's pitch. 5-6. Tapper down to first. Cunningham's got it. Flips to Rickert covering, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Pete Rickert. Moving along to the bottom of the 4th, Big Frank Howard will lead off for Washington. McDowell says he's ready now. Gets the sign from Crandall, and here's the pitch. 1-2, a liner. Speared by Elvis. So that'll go as an L5, and there's 1 down. That'll bring up Don Locke, the center fielder. Locke hit .233 that year with 16 home runs. Remember, this was a pitching-dominated era. McDowell's ready now. Here's his pitch to Locke. 4-4 to the right-hander. That's a fly to center field X. That's going to be Davalillo. He's a 2E5. Here's the roll. That's an 11. That goes to the error range. It's a 10 on the E5, and he makes the play. So a nice catch by Davalillo, and that'll bring up Ken Hamlin. McDowell winds and deals. 4-10 to the right-handed hitter. Swung on him, missed strike 3. So that's the 5th strikeout for Sudden Sam. And after 4 complete, it's Indians 2, Senators 1. So as billed, a much anticipated pitching duel, and it's certainly been that so far. Cleveland will have the top of the order here in the 5th. Vic Davalillo to lead it off, followed by Elvis and Wagner. Rickart's set now, and here's the pitch to Davalillo. That's a 3-8 against the lefty. Homer to 3, but it's a 20. That'll be a fly ball to right. That's Valentine. He's got it, and there's 1 away. Max Elvis will be the batter. Here's Rickart's pitch to Elvis. 4-6. Well hit to left field. Howard going back, and he makes the catch. Let's look at that again. 4-6. Nope, that's not the case at all. I beg your pardon. 4-6 to a right-handed batter is a walk. So Rickert walks him. Elvis not a threat to steal. And Leon Wagner will be the hitter. Elvis a modest lead. Rickard will look over there. And from the stretch, the pitch to Wagner. It's a 4-11 against the lefty. Liner. No, that's a ground ball to second. Hamlin has it. Goes to short, back to first, not in time. So that'll go as 4-6. Alvis is forced. And Wagner to first with 2 down. And with 2 down, Rocky Colavito steps in. Rickard from the stretch, and here's the pitch. It's a 4-7 to the right-hander. Fly to right field, medium deep. That's going to be Valentine. He'll take it and retire the side. So no hits, a walk, and a man left for Cleveland. And it's still 2-1 as we move to the bottom of the 5th. Camille will be leading it off for Washington. McDowell's ready. The windup in the pitch. 4-6 to the right-hander. Ball 4, he loses him. Camille jogs down to first. Camille a slow base runner. And that'll bring up Cunningham. Left-handed hitter, lefty on lefty. Here's McDowell's pitch from the stretch. 2-9. That's a base hit to center. Davalillo a +1. Camille 9-10. He's not going anywhere. Camille will hold up at second on the single by Cunningham. And the Indians will pull the infield in here, expecting the bunt. McDowell's delivery. Rickard squares the bunt. It's an 8. He's a D with the infield in. Pitcher jumps on it, fires down to third for the force, and that's all. So that goes 1-5. Camille's forced. Cunningham to second. Rickard to first on the force play, and there's 1 away. Back to the top of the order with switch hitting Fred Valentine. He'll be batting righty against McDowell. McDowell in a jam here. Checks his sign, and from the stretch, here's the pitch to Valentine. That's a 1-7. That's a grounder to short. That looks like it could be 2. Brown to Gonzalez to first. And a 6-4-3 double play retires the side. So no runs, a hit, and 2 left on. At the end of 5 complete, it's Indians 2, Senators 1. We move along to the 6th. Chuck Hinton will be leading it off for Cleveland. Rickard's ready now. The windup and the pitch. It's a 2-5 against the lefty. Base hit up the middle. So a leadoff single by Hinton. And they'll have to hold him on. It's So Hinton, a 15. Camellia, 0 arm. Held on at 1 to 13. He's going to try for the lead. He needs a 3 through a 7. He's got a 3. He's got the lead. And here he goes, 1 to 13. And he is gunned out by Camellia. So Hinton caught stealing, and that brings up Pedro Gonzalez with the bases empty. Rickert ready now, winds and deals. 4-4 to the righty, that's center field X. That's going to be Locke, he's a 2E9. That's a 20, and he puts it away for the second out. So a fine running catch by Locke to retire Gonzalez, and that'll bring up Larry Brown. Rickert with a windup in the pitch to Brown. That's a 3-11 against the lefty. That's a base hit the other way into right field. So Brown's aboard with 2 down, and Del Crandall will be the hitter. Rickert from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Crandall. 3-7 against the lefty. That's a single to 10. But it's a liner speared by Brinkman. So Brinkman saves the day again. And for Cleveland, no runs on 2 hits, they leave him in. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cleveland's still hanging on to a 2-1 lead. And Eddie Brinkman, who made that fine grab to end the top of the inning, he'll be leading off in the bottom of the 6th. McDowell ready, he winds and deals. That's a 2-8 against the lefty. Tapper back to the mound. McDowell snares it. Throws him out. 1 away. And with 1 down, Ken McMullen will be the hitter. McDowell winds and deals. The pitch to McMullen, 6-3 to the right-hander. That's ground ball to the pitcher, X. Well, that's going to be a 1E15 for McDowell. It's a 10 that goes to the error range. It's a 12 on the E15, and he boots it. So that's the second error of the game for McDowell. And with 1 down, that'll bring up Big Frank Howard. McDowell talking to himself out there a little bit now as Howard steps in. Composes himself, and from the stretch, the pitch to Howard. 3-10 to the left-hander. That's a base hit, just past third base and into left field. 1 base advance. So McMullen will hold up at second on the single by Frank Howard. Now McDowell's in a little jam here. First and second 1 away, and Don Locke the hitter. McDowell set now. From the stretch, here's the pitch. 5-8 to the righty. Swung on and missed strike 3. So that's a big strikeout for McDowell there. And there's 2 down. So Ken Hamlin, the second baseman, steps in. McDowell trying to get out of this from the stretch. 3-7 to the lefty. Grounder to short. That's going to be Brown, and he throws him out. So no runs, a hit, 2 left on for Washington. And it's still 2-1 Cleveland after 6 complete. Now we have our first tough decision, really, of the game. Close game. Do they bat for the pitcher? They're going to let McDowell hit. McDowell has a 7 endurance rating as a starter, and Rickert's set to go here. The pitch to McDowell, 5-9 against the lefty. That's a grounder to short, X. That's going to be Brown. He's a 3E31. There's the roll. That's an 11. That'll be to the error section of the chart. That's a 12 on a 31. And he boots it. No, wait a minute. What am I doing? What am I doing? That's Brinkman. He's a 2E29. Rolls the same. It's a 12 on a 29. And he still boots it. Okay, the result is the same. Sorry about that. That was not Brown. That was Brinkman. So error on Brinkman. And McDowell's aboard. And that'll bring up Davalillo. Ron Klein begins to warm in the Washington bullpen. Rickert's set now, and from the stretch, the pitch to Davalillo. That's a 3-4 against the lefty. Shallow fly ball to left. Frank Howard's there, and there's one away. That'll bring up Max Alvis. Alvis homered in the first inning and then walked twice. He scored 2 runs today. Rickert delivers. 5-7 to the righty. That's second base X. That's going to be Hamlin. He's a 3E34. That's a 12 on the 3. That's in the error range. It's a 13. And he's a 34. This could be trouble. No, that's supposed to be only 2 dice. That's an 11. I see, so you don't use that dice. This dice is the difference maker. Okay, let's take another look at that. Hamlin, 3E34. It's an 11. So Hamlin scoops it up, shovels to Brinkman, back to first, double play. Oh, I'm really fucking this up. This thing's, so that's going to be Hamlin. That's a 4-6-3 double play and retires the side. So yeah, I saw white dice and I'm using a red dice, so I apologize for that. However, the result would have been the same either way. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Still 2-1 Indians. McDowell ready to go. Doug Camilli to lead things off. McDowell gets the sign from Crandall into the windup, and here's the pitch. It's a 5-12 against the righty. That's first base X. That's Chuck Hinton. He's a 3-16. Here's the roll. It's a 19. And Hinton has it. Flips to McDowell covering, 1 down. And that'll bring up Cunningham. Lefty on lefty now. McDowell ready, and the pitch to Cunningham. That's a 5-6. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And with 2 down, the Senators will have to have a pinch hitter for Rickert. So Rickert pitched 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 3, 4, a little wild, walking 4, and he recorded only 2 strikeouts for Rickert. Really? Well, that's what it is. Ron Klein, right-hander, will be coming in for the Senators. Yeah, we're looking for a pinch hitter for Washington. And that's going to be Ken Hawk Harrelson. Harrelson did not play in this game in real life, but I feel that the Senators need a right-handed hitter here against McDowell. So Harrelson standing in now. McDowell with the windup, and here's the pitch. 3-11 to the lefty. Base hit into left field. So Harrelson comes through for the Senators. He's got some speed, and he'll have to be held on. So he's an asterisk 18. 0 arm. Held on, he's a 16. He's going to try for that lead. He needs a 4 or a 5. He's got the 4, and here he goes. 1 through 16. 19, he is gunned out. Oh my. Thrown out at second to end the inning. What a throw by Crandall. So they gamble on the bases with Harrelson, and they get burned. And at the end of 7 complete, Indians 2, Senators 1. Ron Klein had 23 saves for Washington, 2.39 ERA. 90 innings of relief work. He'll be facing Wagner, Colavito, and Hinton here in the top of the 8th. Okay, Klein's set to go now. The right-hander winds and delivers to Wagner. That's a 5-8. Second base X. That's going to be Hamlin. He's a 3E34. That's a 7. And he makes the play. So with 1 down, Rocky Colavito will be the batter. Klein ready now. The windup and the pitch to Colavito. That's a 2-5 against the righty. Base hit to the opposite field. So Colavito, a sharp single to right, and he's aboard with 1 down. They will not hold him on as Chuck Hinton steps in. Klein set now, and from the stretch, the pitch to Hinton. That's a 5-8 to the righty. Second base X. That's Hamlin again, 3E34. That's a 14. Ground ball C, runners advance. So grounder to second base. His only play is to first. Colavito takes second on the play, and there's 2 away. And here's Pedro Gonzalez now with 2 down and a runner in scoring position. The Indians would really like to pick up an insurance run here. Here's Klein's pitch. 6-3 to the right-hander. That's a base hit into center. Colavito can try to score on that. He's a 9 with 2 outs and 11. -2 and 9. Now he's too slow. So Colavito will have to hold up at third on that single by Gonzalez. And the Indians have runners at the corners with 2 down, and Larry Brown will be the batter now. Klein checks his runners from the stretch. 5-7 to the right-hander. Base hit into center. Colavito can walk home on that one. Gonzalez can try for third. 1 through 14 with 2 down, 1 through 16. Center fielder a -2, 1 through 14. Crandall's the batter. They're going to go ahead and play it conservatively here and hold him up. So Gonzalez will stop at second on the single by Brown, an RBI single by Brown. And it's 3-1 Indians. And Del Crandall will be the hitter. Klein set to go now, and from the stretch, the pitch to Crandall. 4-6 to the right-hander. Pop up, right side. That's going to be Hamlin, and that'll retire the side. But Cleveland picks up a big insurance run on 3 hits and leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cleveland 3, Washington 1. The Senators will have the top of the order in the bottom of the 8th, trailing by 2. Fred Valentine, the switch hitter, stands in, batting righty against McDowell. Here's McDowell's pitch. That's a 3-2. That's a base hit up the middle. So Valentine leads off with a single. He'll have to be held on. That'll make him a 15. He's a 15. He's going to try for that lead. He needs 3 through 6. 8, he doesn't get the lead. He doesn't get a good lead, I should say. So a modest lead for Valentine, and Brinkman's the hitter now. McDowell from the stretch. Here's the pitch. That's a 6-9 to the righty. Single to 2, grounder to short. Oh my God. Grounder to short, Brown has it. Flips to Gonzalez, back to first, double play. Look at that, let's check that again. 6-9 right-handed hitter, single to 2. The roll is a 3, it's a ground ball to shortstop A. So Brinkman hits into the 6-4-3 double play. Valentine may be wishing he'd have tried to steal second now, but it's too late. There's 2 down. Ken McMullen, the hitter. McDowell winds and deals. That's a 3-10 against the lefty. Grounder to second, Gonzalez has it. Flips over to first, and that'll retire the side. So nothing doing for the Senators in the 8th. Leadoff single erased by the double play. And we go to the 9th, 3-1 Cleveland. McDowell will lead off the 9th inning for Cleveland. He's looking for the complete game today. Klein, the windup in the pitch. 4-8 to the left-hander. Grounder down to first. That's Cunningham. He's going to take it to the bag himself. Okay, Vic Davalillo. Klein's ready now. Winds and deals. That's a 4-9 to the left-handed Davalillo. That's shortstop X. That's going to be Brinkman. He's a 2E29. That's a 10. That goes to the error range. That's a 5 on a 29. And he boots it. So E6, the second error of the day for the sure-handed Ed Brinkman. And Davalillo's aboard. Davalillo very fast. But also has a tendency to get picked off, so he's not going anywhere. Max Alvis will hit away, and here's the pitch from Klein. That's a 4-4 to the right-hander. Fly to left. That's Howard. He barely has to move, and there's 2 down. And with 2 down, Leon Wagner will be the batter. Rocky Colavito is on deck. Klein ready now. Here's the pitch to Wagner. 6-5. Oh my God. A deep blast to right center. And it is way up in the seats. And Leon Wagner has just tied the game with a 2-out, 2-run home run. What do you know about that? So Brinkman's error opened the door for it. Both runs are unearned. Wow, what a blast by Leon Wagner. Let's look at that again, shall we? 6-5, left-hander. I'm sorry, the game is not tied. What the hell am I talking about here? The Indians are batting. 6-5 and homer. Clearly gone. And it's 5-1 Indians, and they've blown the game open. And Mike McCormick's throwing in the pen. Klein will face Colavito with 2 down. He's finished his conference on the mound. And he's ready to go. Here's the pitch to Colavito. That's a 6-5 to the righty. 1 through 8, fly ball deep to left field, and that's gone. Colavito blasts one out of the park. Holy cow, 2 home runs back to back. 6-5, right-handed batter, homer to 8, and the roll is a 1. Holy cow. And that's going to do it for Klein. Gil Hodges has seen enough, and he's on his way out to the mound. So Klein will be out of the game. Mike McCormick's coming in. Boy, he had 2 outs in that error. He just couldn't get the last out. 1 2/3 for Klein. He gave it 5 hits, 2 home runs. Four runs. And it's 6-1 Indians. Wow. Klein did not walk anyone. He was betrayed by his defense a little bit. On the other hand, he did groove a couple of pitches there. No strikeouts. McCormick, a lefty. And he's brought in to try to get Chuck Hinton. McCormick ready now as Hinton steps in, and here's the pitch. That's a 2-10 against the lefty. Grounder to short. Brinkman's got it and throws him out, but the damage is done. 3 big runs, all unearned. 2 hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the ninth, 6-1 Cleveland. McDowell looking for a complete game victory on opening day. And he'll be facing Howard, Locke, and Hamlin. That sounds like a legal firm. Injured in an accident? Call Howard, Locke, and Hamlin. Okay, no, back to the game. Big Frank Howard steps in, and here's the pitch from McDowell. 1-11 against the lefty. That's a base hit into left. So Howard, a sharp single to lead things off. McDowell, an endurance rating of 7. And Don Locke will be the batter. McDowell from the stretch now gets the sign, and here's the pitch to Locke. 5-5 to the righty. Swung on and missed strike 3. So McDowell still has something left in the tank as he blows that heater right past Locke, and there's one down. Ken Hamlin will be the batter now. McDowell ready, and from the stretch the pitch. It's a 3-7 against the lefty. Grounder to short, that could be 2. Brown to Gonzalez on to first, and that's the ball game. That's your ball game. McDowell does it. He goes all the way. 6-1. What a game by McDowell. McDowell picks up the win. Rickert takes the loss. McCormick retired the only batter to face him, but the story was McDowell. 9 innings. Allowed 7 hits. The only real damage was the home run by Valentine in the first inning. He walked only 2. And this should be fun. He struck out 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Ks for Sudden Sam. So for Cleveland, 6 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors, both by McDowell. For Washington, 1 run on 7 hits, 2 errors, both by Brinkman. And that's your final here on opening day 1966 as the Cleveland Indians beat the Washington Senators 6-1, and we are underway with the 66 season. Hope you'll enjoy this season as much as I will. Be sure to hit that subscribe button later this afternoon. We'll pick up where we left off on the 1974 Dodger replay as the Mets roll into town. 4 home runs in the game, 3 by Cleveland. This is Aquilon 1956. Wishing you a pleasant good afternoon.